Hello guys and welcome to FTL. This is a game that is deep in my heart as one of those games that really got me into PC gaming. It had a very interesting idea and stuck with it, which I can appreciate, obviously. Now, I do believe that the best way to learn how to play this game is just to play it and watch someone play it, so I'm just going to go ahead and go right into a new game. We will be using the Kestrel for this run, because why not? So if you don't know what FTL is, it is basically it's a roguelike space sim, where you are sort of like the AI or commander of a ship, and you have to, well, control it and fly it across the galaxy. So our ship name will be Red. I don't name it Red Dwarf. I'll name it Firefly. Yeah, I don't know. We'll name it the USS. Red. Yeah, why not? I'm lazy. We'll have John, not Jon. I think I am a racist. We'll have Tucker and Timmy. You will be the first to die, Timmy. Alright. We will have Advanced Edition content enabled, because why not? By the way, I do have, like, every single ship unlocked, so I just did that, didn't I? Yeah, I did. USSSSSS, why not? And Tom, Philip, and O'Regan. Alright. So this is your game field. You have your captain's area. This is where the pilot sits. Right now it is Thomas. We have the door control. So let's say, for instance, I take Thomas and I put him on doors. The doors get upgraded, and I can now... These basically are now blast doors, which take longer for intruders to get onto your ship. You can go to the CCTV area, or the surveillance area, basically, which at level 1, which these are your levels for each of your things. At level 1, it will let you see on your ship, and you can also, at level 2, you can see on your enemy ship, like, actually see the interior, and then level 3 lets you see the inside of, like, how long it takes for the weapons to recharge and stuff. You have shields, which are your shields, medbay for medical stuffs, weapons for your weapons, O2 for your oxygen, and engines for your engines, obviously. You have your hull, which, if this gets completely down, you die. You have drone parts, missiles, and fuel. Each jump, so let's say jumping to this point, takes up 1 fuel. Missiles, certain weapons, for instance the Artemis here, which is this weapon right here, requires a missile to shoot. So if you run out of missiles, you cannot shoot this weapon. You have your evade skills, which is basically how much of a chance you have to evade a shot, obviously. And then you have your crew and their skills. I'm actually going to take Phillips, and I'm going to move him to shields, and then I can save his position with this. Take a good old reactor bar off of my medbay, and put it on engines, just so I can get some extra evade. By the way, never turn off your O2. That is a very silly thing to do, and it took me a while to get used to that. This is your upgrade menu. You can use scrap, which you get in battles. You can use scrap to upgrade your ship, systems. You can upgrade your subsystems, or your reactor. Or what you can do is spend your scrap on things in stores. You have your crew. You can have up to 7 people, I believe. No, 6, 7, 8. I lied, it's 8. I can't count. And then you have your equipment. You have your weapons, your drones, if you have any drones. You have your cargo. You can have up to 4 weapons or whatever. And then you have your augmentations, which we will get into later. But for now, let's go ahead and jump. So the story of this game, bullshit. Never mind, I'll get into the story in a second. So we arrive at a beacon to find yourself dangerously close to a star. It's an automated rebel ship. Detects us, and we have to fight it. So this is your battle screen. This is how you fight. You'll notice that in the background there's a sun and there's this little danger icon. Certain systems, as in star systems, will have they'll have little random events. So for instance, this event is a sun, which will periodically catch our ship on fire and also catch their ship on fire, which is useful, kind of. Unless your ship can handle the extra flames, it's not very good usually. So let's go ahead and get into this. I recommend not using any missiles unless you have to. So for right now, I'm just going to be using my burst laser because he can't break shields. Basically, this is a single shot and this is an ion weapon. I'll get into the weapons in a little bit. Because for right now, I'm just kind of showing the basics of you're the first person to play this game. Actually, no, I think I'll actually get into it. So basically, the different type of weapons in this game is that there are missile weapons, which by the way, my ship just got on fire. So what I can do is flood this whole area. So the different type of weapons are beam weapons, or not beam weapons, sorry, but like projectile-esque weapons, which are what this is. So this is like a laser. There are missiles, which break through shields, and they just hit a system no matter what. So a missile will just break shields. This has to go through shields first. There are beam weapons, which kind of go, like, for instance, this would be like a pew-pew type weapon, and a beam weapon would be like bwee. That's the only way I know how to describe it using words. But beam weapons cannot break shields no matter what unless they do more than 1 damage, which that all just gets into certain things. And then there are ion weapons, which disable systems or shields. They don't do damage pretty much at all, if I'm not mistaken. I've only played this game a lot and should probably know. A rebel ship hails. We do not fight a war, fly a single Federation ship, scatter our dreams, a better galaxy. He locks weapons. So, this would be a good time to talk about the story. By the way, they just teleported onto my ship. Well, one of them did. Phillips. Never mind. You go in there. So, basically the story is that we are the Federation of whatever, of this galaxy essentially, and we are fighting a war right now with the rebels. These people, I guess would be a better way to put it. Let me split that out quickly. There we go. But basically they are, not the nicest of people, and they keep trying to kill us. But we have vital information about a massive attack coming to our main base, and we have to go deliver it before the fleet, which is this over here, catches up to us. But, I mean, the story doesn't really matter. It's just a really fun roguelike. If you're into the story, more power to you. Alright. Now that everyone's healed up, we can go. leads to completely unremarkable binary star systems around. Exciting stuff. You detect a rebel scout and detect their weapons are charged, but they are not firing. Intervene to defend the outpost because we need to get gear. Rebel responds to your threat. They don't know who you are, but no one defiles the rebel fleet. They move to engage. How silly are they going to feel whenever they realize that this is a Federation cruiser? Well, not silly at all. They're probably not going to care. So that what happened there is what evade does. Is that so? It basically just gives you a chance to dodge damage, which is more than a little useful. Something else, by the way, you might notice is that there's a pause button, which is marked to space, which is probably the most useful thing this game has ever implemented. Just saying, like, nothing is more tense in this game than just hoping that you can get that shot off in time before whatever their stuff happens. Like, I think probably one of my favorite quotes about this game is that even though it has a pause menu, like this is the only game where I've had a pause menu and at the same time I've still felt completely out of control and like I have no time. What? Federation sympathizers contact you as arrive. We know your mission should be secret, so we don't ask you to know about it. Take the schematic, it's all we can do to help. It's 10 and a defense drone Mark II. If I had drone systems, that'd be kind of useful, but for now, I'm probably just gonna sell it. I don't use drones. I'm weird. Once you arrive, screen lights up with warnings. A nearby pirate seems to have advanced hacking tools. They would try to shut down your engines. Your crew manages to keep them barely operational as you move into attack. Okay, so my evade's been slightly diminished, so whatever. Let's go ahead and shoot that misselect those shields. Take out their weapons so they can't attack us. So they have drones, which is their drone here, obviously. Take out their shields again. Only got the basic laser, I think. It's either a basic or a dual laser. Hopefully it's just a basic. Put that before they can fire, and let's take them out. 2 and 13. If you haven't noticed, I don't really pay attention to like most of the dialogue in this game. It's because I've just played it for so long that I usually know what happens. Alright, so now that we've come to a store, we can get even more in-depth with this game. Let's sell that because I don't need it. So here are your different systems. If you noticed earlier... anyway, so these are augmentations. These here are new systems you can buy. So for instance, I can buy cloaking, which makes me 60... or it gives me plus 60 evasion. So instead of this being 15, whenever I click on the cloaking, it'll have a little button down here that you click, it goes up to whatever. Okay, it was up to 75. Yeah. So I have a 75% chance of missing any shot. So you basically miss. They basically miss every shot that they hit at you, which is a little more than useful. You can get mind control, which lets you turn enemies into allies, which again, more than a little useful. And then you can get drone control. There are different types of aliens that you can get, and different types of people you can get on your ship. And I'm not going to go into all of them. For right now, there's the Mantis and the Engi. The Mantis are really good at fighting, but they're not good at repairing. And the Engi are good at repairing, but very bad at fighting. You get new weapons. You get a hull laser, a heavy laser, or flak. We're not going to focus on drones at all because they're not useful. Hull smasher laser Mark II is powerful. Fires more projectiles per shot. Requires 3. Charge time is 15. Shots per charge are 3. So I can get 3 shots, 3 plus my burst laser's 3, it's 6, so I can break 4 shields. Right now I'm just doing the math right away for how useful this would be to get. This is something you have to do in this game, is you have to plan out how much you want something. Because I could get this and sell my Artemis, but I won't be able to use it for a very long time. Because I'm going to have to put an extra 2 into my weapon systems, and then put an extra 3 into my reactor to be able to use this with my burst laser. I could do heavy laser, or I could do flak. Flak's really good at taking down shields. How much can I get for the Artemis? 19, so that's a little over 140. 140, 2020, 2020, so it's not going to be 2020, it's going to be 2020, 30, 30, plus, I think I'll save it for now. I do recommend getting rid of your missile requirement weapons, because that's just another thing you have to keep tabs on. Some people like dealing with it, I don't. Oh shit. Oh, okay, good. So there are this is one of the things that you can get, is that there are ion clouds, which are basically, not ion clouds, but like nebulas, which make it to where you can't see inside of your ship, which you'll see as soon as I bring this dialogue box away. But at the same time, actually I can sit here without anything happening. So as you can see, I can only see inside of my ship where these people are. Anywhere else I can't see. Which is kind of poop. And the other thing is that this nebula in particular has an ion storm happening inside of it. So I'm losing power I'm losing 4 power at the moment. So I can't have my shields, my engine, or my medbay up. So imagine this combined with a battle, and it's just a resource war. It's just ridiculous. Some of the battles in this game, I'm surprised I've won. Anyway, so let's jump to the next sector. I think we are going to go to Zoltan. I'm going to go to Zoltan. Zoltan is one of the other races in this game. By the way, you might notice I'm not going directly to the exit. It's because at the end of this, there's a very hard boss battle, and I recommend preparing for it as much as you can. So, spy 2 pirate ships lurking in the nebula here. They remain aware of a private cargo and is currently carrying the fuel supplies, the other ammunition. They need to drift away from each other in a storm. I'm good for fuel. I'll take the ammunition. Oh, it's a slug. That's beautiful. Well, they're going to be able to damage me with that, unless I can quickly check. Yes. Alright, so I got their weapon down, that's good. My O2 went down, so if you notice, my oxygen is slowly starting to deplete. I need to keep their weapon down. I'm not going to focus on their shields at all, because it's not worth my time. You go ahead and go back over to shields. Alright, we only need to hit him how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more times. You prick. You can go and do that. Taking some damage here. Okay, cool. That is their weapons down for at least a second. Come on. Thank God. I should have had him in engines, so that way he could have a little bit extra evade for me. That was silly of me. Anyways, so let's go back out of these nebulas. I hate nebulas, they're so obnoxious. Trade 2 for... yeah, screw that. back up. Distress beacon, let's go here. Because why not? Cockpit lights up with warning signs. You are about to be teleported or targeted by a nearby ship. The stress causes prepare for a fight. Yeah, I can take him. Yeah, you're gonna say that a lot whenever you play this game. It's gonna be a lot of, I can take him. Yeah, especially if he misses his first shot and can't use his laser against me. That's funny to me. I love it whenever they miss a shot and they can't do any damage. Just makes them feel so helpless. Oh, they're starting to run away. Well, I don't care about wasting. Oh, well, at least they're delayed now. But yeah, so if you notice, they resisted that, so they didn't take any damage, but their room did take damage. That's very common against rock ships. They are friggin' tanks. Small rebel ship is docked to nearby station. You stay low to spawn to you, power up your weapons, blah blah blah. So he's got a chain laser, which, if I'm not mistaken, this will fire 2 shots in rotation, and that shoots 1. Yeah, that was right. That's lame. So basically how that works is oh, his ship's on fire. It's very on fire. So basically how that weapon works is that it basically charges up. So you see how it fills up and then it stops. That it fills up, stops, and then goes back down and fills up again. And the more times you let it fill up, the more shots it'll fire. Some weapons are spooling. So for instance, they're like a minigun. For instance, like the more times you fire it, the faster its cooldown rate is. So it just takes it's just pretty good. Interfere and save the Manta ship or the Zoltan ship? We are in Zoltan territory. Maybe we should help the Zoltans. Oh, this is an asteroid field. I didn't notice that. How didn't I notice that? It's stupid of me. Asteroid fields, by the way, they just throw random asteroids at you, and they're very obnoxious because they love to take down your shields. But if you can get their shields down, like I didn't, then it can do a lot of damage against them. We have damage in the engine room though, and that's not good. We're about to lose engines, which will give us no ability, which means we are now going to get every single thing hitting us. That means I need to take out theirs, which means that now everything that they have will hit them. Got their weapons. Cool, that's good. If you can tell, I'm getting a little tense here. I need to keep him on shield so that way I can get my shields up faster. Come on. I can't send them in there yet because my O2 is still being ionized, so I can't. So there's still no oxygen in here. Oh, there we go. Basically, if it has those kind of red candy cane type stripes, that means that there's no oxygen in the room, and people will start taking damage from it, which is very much not good. Tomas, you go ahead and go back up. So get GTFO out of this place. Cause seriously, I hate asteroid belts. So bad. So as you notice, their experience are starting to go up a bit more. And the further and further up they go, the obviously the more advantage and perks they get. So for instance, like this guy, whenever he gets to the next level of his weapons, he'll have a 10% faster charge rate, which is useful. That is a level 2 beam weapon, I think. Either that or a fire beam weapon. Don't tell me. Yeah, it just tells me it's a combat drone. They can break shields. I don't like that. Break shields will do damage. I always go for these opposed to the drone systems because that can do damage to me no matter what. Unless, of course, the drone can do damage to me and not the ship. If the ship has the beam weapon and the drone is a laser, then I go for the drone just to make sure I don't take any damage. This is a game that's very much about not taking damage. Anyone who tells you different is silly. So it's a pretty easy game, am I right? Pretty easy, it's not too bad. I've only been playing this game for like 82 hours. Liam. Okay, so here are the other races. There is a Zoltan, which are very useful. Basically, a Zoltan, it has less health, but it does 15 damage to enemy crew upon death because it explodes, and it provides power to activate the system. So essentially, it's like having an extra reactor bar, just kind of chilling, like a mobile one. So they're very useful. And there's Liam, who's a slug. The slugs are probably my favorite race because they're slugs and they're silly. Telepathic slugs are so basically they have telepathic powers, so they can see people on their ship, and they're also immune to mind control. So if their ship has mind control, a slug cannot be affected by it. Actually, because I want that, I'm gonna have Liam. I'm gonna have him go in the back on engines. That way I have that extra evade. It's always useful to have more and more and more people. Because the more people you have, the better it is for your systems to operate. Just generally better. More people, the better. More nice. Thinking about finishing up this system. So by the way, this is what his like telepathic power does, is that you can see the people on their ship and how they're moving and stuff. So for instance, he is about to come over to our ship, so let's see. Start to flow. So that way he can't escape. You're lame. Can they? Oh, yeah, I don't like that. Yeah, some of these weapons are very vicious. Please take down the shields. Oh, come on. See, because they have an Engi on that, and it's obnoxious. Because Engi repair really quick. That's basically their whole thing. Thank you for actually doing that. Well, I wanted you to do that. Ship explodes and I get stuff. Damn right. You two kids. Fix up the medbay. So I'm thinking about I'm gonna clean up this section, or this place, and I'll be done for now. But you know, you arrive at a Zoltan research facility. Scans, participate in the study. Great. Intruders on board. Oh. This is a good time to demonstrate the beauty of running away. Alrighty. You two go do that. Because I need that to be prepared. Go hide in there while I do this. Alright, come on. basically right now what I'm... Oh, God. Basically what I'm trying to do is just get my FTL to charge because I can't... I'm not going to be able to win this battle. Come on, Philip. No, no, no. Alright. Jump. Alright. And screw has been hunkered down, abandoned a lot of times. Okay. So, now we get into the fun part of what this game is about. It's about barely surviving. Both of you go over here and repair this. Come on. And that, kids, is what we call a close call. You go ahead and start repairing weapons. Go ahead and start repairing weapons. Jeez. Both of you go ahead and start repairing weapons. Did not think I was going to make it out of that one, I'll be honest. I've gotten out of worse, but still, it's just a little bit shocking sometimes. Alright, get the ship full fixed up and stuff. Everyone go back to your positions. Everything's powered, correct. That, kids, is why we be careful about where we go. Let me fix the ship. FTL fuel. FTL fuel. Drone parts, missile. Mind control, hacking, clone bay. Oh, I should get a clone bay. So basically how a clone bay works is that if a clone bay is basically, if one of your crew member dies, if the clone bay is powered on, they will slowly start to regenerate. But the thing is that you only, basically, so if you look onto the right where it says like 35 and 45, it says 7 seconds clone, 9 seconds clone, 12 seconds clone, so that's how long it takes to clone the person. But over to the side it says plus 8 HP / jump. That basically means like it takes 12 seconds to clone somebody and you only get 8 HP per jump. So you have the good part where it's like, oh hey, I can just, like, somebody dies, they can just come back whenever. But at the same time, there is the problem of you don't get any healing on the go. And you might think, well, just kill your people whenever you need them to heal. Well, if you kill them, they take a hit to their to whatever their perks are. So for instance, Thomas will be a little bit weaker in flying and repair. So it does have that downside. I'm going to go ahead and get a second shield, and I'm going to go ahead and exit. So, do this. I'll do this real quick. I'll do this last battle real quick. All right. Artemis. Take that out. Take out their shield. These are the worst type of battles, by the way, where it's like you're like they can't hurt you at all, but at the same time they have a high enough evade where it's just like they're being obnoxious. Generous enough. No, I'm just gonna kill you because you're pirates. I'm just gonna go after the shields because they can't hurt me. Pew pew pew. All right. 13 scrap. Arm dealer usually. Oh. That's cool. I mean, I don't want to buy anything. I can't really buy anything either. I could buy a new guy. I will take your FTL fuel, 2 missiles. Well, thank you for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. This is FTL. If you want to see more, leave a comment, like the video, do whatever. If you disliked it, dislike the video, do whatever you want, man. But thank you for watching. Have a nice day.